God! I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
Thank you, Stacy.
I'm so sorry. I was a total dick.
I'm sorry, too.
Dope, good. Let's leave it at that.
Mixtape, a game that has sparked up quite a bit of controversy as of recently. And so I had to delve into this myself because as a pro gamer myself, I will be able to accurately review this piece of work. And here's what I've determined. Not very good. Not very good. For all my TikTok enjoyers, that was your outro to leave. And now for all the people who can actually focus for more than 5 minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about this game because there is a lot being talked about. Now, I think it is important to mention why so many people are up in rage and absolutely pissed off about this game. And now with any other game, you may have noticed a very popular gaming journalism, and a lot of people believe it's one of the more accurate sources to go to when you're looking into playing a video game. That is of course IGN. But as of recently, IGN has been getting clowned on. Now obviously this is nothing new for them, for giving it outrageously whopping 10. Think about that for a moment. A 10. You have to realize that is up there with the greats like Elden Ring and GTA 5, I think. I don't know. I didn't look at the list, but I'm sure there's a lot of great games that are 10s. So you're probably thinking this must be some masterpiece. Well, let me tell you, you're in for something.
I bet one of us dies this time.
This is track 1. Bullshit gameplay. I want to dive into the gameplay because I think that is what's being talked about the most. But I will already say this, in my opinion, I think it is one of the least worries for this game. And I think that there are a lot more issues than the gameplay itself. A lot what people are talking about when it comes to the gameplay is there's a lot of moments where you basically just do nothing. I mean, you're either just watching a movie or you're doing a gameplay scene where you're basically just watching a movie. That is really why people are just confused on why this game has such a high rating, because it's not really a game. It's just a walkthrough simulator where you're just watching something unfold. And yeah, granted, there's a lot of games that are like that, and people will compare it to Life is Strange or something like one of my favorites, What Remains of Edith Finch, saying that although, yeah, it doesn't have much gameplay, it is an interactive story, and so it has to have some credit for that. And I will give it credit for that. And that's why I think the gameplay is not the worst part of it. It has moments where, yeah, although you're not doing anything and you don't have to do anything, you're still interacting with the game to immerse yourself within the story. I also don't believe it's comparable to games like Life is Strange, because with Life is Strange, the gameplay elements are more in depth than just interactive elements. It's not just pressing a few buttons to kind of play around with the story a little bit. You know, you're actually controlling time to be able to solve puzzles and to be able to affect the game in the future. I think there actually is multiple endings. I could be wrong. There might be only 2 endings in the first game, but I do know that your actions do affect, you know, the game up until the end, which, you know, everything comes back full circle. So there actually is some interesting story elements there and gameplay elements within that game, while in this game you're just doing nothing for the sake of doing nothing, which is fine, but I feel like there should be a little bit more challenging parts to it and a little bit more interactivity. Things like puzzles would be great for this game since it is a very slow-paced story game. But putting all those gameplay elements aside, it really isn't that boring. I know it seems like that, but that is not because of the gameplay. And so now, let's get into the characters.
Is this all you've got? No dubs? No De Bortolini's Pinot Grigio?
Dude, I just bought a plane ticket. I'm broke as shit.
Weak.
Holy shit. The characters are bad. Now, putting the kind of amateur Darman acting aside, it's even worse when you realize that the characters basically don't change throughout the entire thing. We are met with our main character, who is very douchey. She is a douche.
Why are you being such a dick?
Because you messed up our trip. You couldn't wait one more week?
The road trip? We'll go next year. It's not a big deal.
It's a big deal to me. This is the first time I'll be out on my own. I wanted you there.
You should be happy for me.
She decides to ditch her friends going on a road trip so she can go to New York to try to get a record label studio job type thing. And, you know, this is an opportunity for her, but what I really don't understand is, like, is that opportunity never going to come up again? I mean, you've been planning this road trip with your friends. Why are you not going? And then later in the game, she gets pissed off when she gets replaced with this person who is her arch nemesis. And like, it's like, what the hell did you expect? You ditched them. They're going to replace you. I really don't understand that. I guess I just don't get her attitude with everything. And it's even worse because she's just so snobby about music the entire time. I mean, even when her friends are in trouble, all she can think about is music.
What are you doing?
I'm listening to Roads by Portishead from their debut album. It's kind of hollow, haunting, long stretches of electric piano because I honestly don't know what song to play.
Have fun hanging out with Camille Cole.
You want to come over to my house?
My soundtrack is ruined.
I know.
Her brain is ingrained with music. It's so annoying. And it wouldn't be that bad. It would not be that bad. I understand having a character that has a very self-centered, egotistical view on things. One of my favorite movies, Cars, does this. Lightning McQueen in the beginning is very egotistical. He's very self-centered, and I kind of see that here. But the problem is that throughout the entire game, she doesn't change. She doesn't. She just doesn't change at all. But yet she still doesn't apologize to her friends. Like, I don't, this is not character development. And when we finally see character development in the end, there's this relationship going on between her friend, her guy friend, and her. We're starting to see this relationship build where it could lead to something, and the game just fucking ends.
What is it?
It's my album. You know, you could listen to it or whatever.
Thank you so much. Well,
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow.
When we're actually starting to see some character development and something happening in the game, it just ends. Like, we're starting to actually see something happen within the game, and it just ends. And we'll go back to the Life is Strange comparison. People will a lot of times compare it to Chloe. Chloe was a very music head, very punk rock. And they were kind of similar, she misbehaved, she drank. But the difference is Chloe, you actually get to see her backstory and see that everything in her life was going wrong. Her dad died that day, and it broke her. And then her mom immediately got with a new guy who was a cop who was very strict.
Except my camera has officially taken a shit. My step douche has a boatload of tools. Maybe you can fix it at my place.
I need very specific tiny tools.
Bird alert. My stepdad has a fully stocked garage, and he actually is a tiny tool.
And maybe it wasn't like that. Maybe the relationship was much different, but you see this in the backstory when you go back in time and view all this. And you can actually see the different outcomes, what changes in her life. You know, what would have happened if her dad survived that car crash. And you see how, I'm not going to try to spoil all that game, but it's like a 10-year-old game, so it doesn't really matter. You see all this, and then you have this character who is just an absolute douche. You know, her friends, on the other hand, again, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting their names. I literally just played this game and I forgot their names. I don't care about looking up. You know who I'm talking about. They're on the screen. The girl, her dad's very strict, you know. It follows kind of a similar relationship to Chloe, and I like it. I actually like this girl. I think she has a good, her story is written well. Again, the acting's not too much to be proud of, but it's still good. And then they just ruin her in the end as well. She misbehaves some more. She stands up to her dad, I'm pretty sure it's her dad, who's a cop.
I want you to understand. This ain't a catastrophe. It's a warning. Daddy, if you trap me here, this will only be the beginnings of my wicked ways. 'Cause I'm angry and I'm wired and I'm fixing for a whole lot of trouble. If you make me stay here, I'm gonna burn the whole fucking place down!
And her dad just lets it happen. Like, he's just like, you're threatening to burn shit down and absolutely destroy everything. Of course I'm gonna let you go.
There'll be patrol cars up and down this road. Get out of here. Go on. Back the way you came.
And?
Well, I guess we have ourselves an understanding.
I don't know. I feel like that is not how that story should have been written. That ending to everything. It was nice that she made a relationship with her father and he kind of realized that he is the reason she's been misbehaving because of his strict parenting. She's kind of a douchebag as well throughout the entire game, so it doesn't really make a difference. Anyways, I'm getting so sidetracked because it's just the characters. They're just so, they're written so weirdly. Anyways, it gets even worse. And that is when we get into the story. The story is worse than all the characters because I could go into other character details, but we don't actually get backstories of very many. Like, there's this one popular girl and she wants to party, but her party got crashed. And so she asked the main character, hey, can we party somewhere? And there's a lot of backstory behind a hidden cabin in the woods. Her sister partied at. It's very stereotypical, like just teenagers misbehaving, going to a party. I like the fantasy style that it goes for, the very fictional style it goes for, where there's moments where they're flying and they're floating in the air, and there's moments where things are coming to life. There's moments like that I think are really cool. I like those. You know, there's a bunch of really cool moments with the friends that are just hanging out, like when they go to the dinosaur park. I thought that was actually a pretty interesting part of the game. I like that chapter. But then there's other parts where the story just doesn't go anywhere. Like in the beginning, there's just a part where there's a tongue kissing game. Like, what? Why do I want to do this? Why am I doing this? It has nothing to do with the story. And I get it. We are going through memories, and I like the idea of going through memories because it allows you to build this friendship between the three main characters. One of my major issues with that is we're not getting any present tense story building. We're getting all this previous knowledge, but nothing to help elevate it. These memories are nice. There's one where you get to find out why the girl whose dad is a cop, you find out why she doesn't like playing softball. Like, her dad wants her to play softball, and you find out why she doesn't like that. Well, we get that knowledge, and then it's just never used. Like, we never hear her talk to her dad about how she doesn't want to do softball and this and that. We never hear about that again. Why? That was such a good lead up to help develop her character. Anyways, all of this being said, I'm yapping about this game, and I feel like there's a lot to be said about it, but the one thing that I do want to say, although I'm giving it a lot of hate, it wasn't an absolutely awful game. To say that it is one of the most unrealistic IGN reviews to exist is a little bit outrageous. Does it deserve a 10? No, of course it doesn't. It's not, a game that's going to stand out to me for years. But was it the worst game I've ever played? Was it below even a 6? No. I'd probably, if I was IGN, I'd give it like a 7. At the end of the day, it's just a very average game. It's nothing special. And I know people will go to the art style and say the art style was pretty cool. And yeah, it was cool, but it was very choppy. There were some moments where, it felt just so weird watching the characters move, But really what I want to rant about, the criticism around it. A lot of people are dogging on this game, and I think it comes with some preconceived bias. I think a lot of people who are playing this game are people who are fans of RPGs, shooters, and other style of games. And I don't think it's meant for them. And that's just with a lot of games. Like Madden, it's a very popular game. It's loved by a lot of people. I personally don't like sports games. I watched a review on this before I played it. It wasn't a review, it was more like a rant about video games. And I liked it, and I understood where they were coming from, but when I played the game, I didn't get that vibe anymore. I understood that the game was just an experience for the creator. Granted, I think it was mostly so they could throw a bunch of random music that they liked into a game. I'm making this video because everyone else is talking about it, but I really don't see how it started. Probably with the IGN review, because obviously it does not deserve a 10. But I don't think this is going to be getting nominated for any Game of the Year award like people are saying. Game of the Years are typically not determined by a journalistic standpoint, and judging by the Steam reviews only being positive, I don't think this game will be in the running for the best indie game of the year. Anyways, if you want to hear me rant about more games, I will gladly do so. But yeah, final thoughts?
The compact disc delivers crisp, high-fidelity audio in a portable form factor with a 16-bit signal and a staggering 74 minutes of playtime. It's the sound of the future.